Relationship. Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk Show with Waylon Lewis, which is me. And I'm here at my house, and I'm here to talk about relationships or lack thereof. So we're in a kind of Tinder culture right now. People love to make fun of Tinder and giggle about Tinder and Tinder, um, and be condescending about Tinder. I actually think it's totally fine. It's basically the equivalent of sitting at a cafe or a bar and having some girls or guys walk by, and you're like, they're hot, I'd love to ask them out. The only difference is the people on Tinder also want to be asked out or ask you out, maybe. So anyway, I think it's fine. But this culture is always sort of blowing up the helium balloon of fantasy and of romance and of lust. Every chick flick I've ever seen, which is a lot, I'm an expert on chick flicks, is all about what happens before happily ever after, as are those age-old tales of romance. And from a Buddhist point of view, a mindful approach to relationships, that's all fine. You know, it's all like hormones and whatever. Shannon was saying some technical scientific stuff. But basically, it's like a drug. And when it wears off, you're left with your perfect lover arguing about who didn't do the dishes. And that's actually, from a Buddhist point of view, considered to be the beginning of a fulfilling, enjoyable relationship. So this is sort of about the kitchen sink level of relationships. So what we regard as the fun part of relationships, what you see in all the chick flicks, is actually just kind of meaningless. Like if you're, like right now, I am madly in love with, hundreds of women who I don't even know on Facebook, and we message each other, and they message me, and there's a kind of beautiful meaningfulness to our getting to know each other, but we don't, it's not hundreds of women, it's actually only like 20 or 30, just to be clear. And it is really, there's an old-fashioned quality to getting to know somebody just by writing. It's like writing letters back in the 18 whatevers. I saw it on some chick flick movie. They did it. But so that's fine as well. But your fantasy, your projection of someone being perfect, your sexual attraction to them is really not sustainable. It's not what happens. What is sustainable is, from a Buddhist point of view, your friendship. So what is love? Fundamentally, it's friendship plus obviously a certain level of attraction to the person. And attraction can be humor, playfulness, teasing. It doesn't just have to be physical. So Buddhism, I like to say, is pro-partner. Man, woman, whatever, it's all good. The point is that, as Trungpa Rinpoche says, your spouse is the messenger. This is a quote. Your spouse is the messenger of the phenomenal world. So your spouse is someone you commit to enough so that they get to know you on a kitchen sink level, and they care enough, and you allow them in to be critical in a loving way about who you are. And that's really a difficult process. It's sort of like turning your own compost heap in front of your lover. But if you can stick with that, that goes into another Buddhist analogy called the bamboo tube, where you're like a snake. It's kind of a negative analogy for a relationship, but you're like a snake stuck in a bamboo tube. You can only go one way. And that's what that commitment of marriage is, or even a relationship sometimes, although it's a pretty weak tube. You can only go one direction. So no matter what stuff you're bringing up in me, no matter how much I'm failing to be the me that I think I like, I have to just stick with it. And that goes for you too. No matter how much you're not living up to the you I thought I was getting together with and marrying or in a relationship with, we have to stick with each other. And that's really difficult, but incredibly powerful from a, not even a spiritual point of view, just being a grown-up point of view. So final caveat in defense of bachelors, because I am very much a bachelor, is, or parents or whatever, there is a certain level of focus that is required of entrepreneurs or parents, anyone who is in a particular phase of their life where they have to focus, and relationship is not the most important thing. And I think that's beautiful and wonderful. The point being that sometimes sacrifice, sometimes being boring, from a sort of fun, let's go out and eat dinner, or whatever point of view, is natural. There are ebbs and flows to relationships. And I think space, as Trungpa Rinpoche said, space in a relationship allows for a certain amount of admiration and humor and appreciation. So the Jerry Maguire, idea of a relationship is that two candles become one, right? That you complete me. The Buddhist idea is more like two individuals who can still be lonely and independent, good and bad, you're on your own, can join hands and kind of walk together on a path and support one another. And that path hopefully is of service to other people. So you can actually help each other wake up as you travel that path and be of benefit. So that's all I got. If you have a lot more wisdom than I, which I'm sure would not be difficult, you can leave comments, and then I will do another video using all of your comments and claiming your wisdom as mine. Thank you so much. Waylon Lewis, Walk the Talk Show.